121 Talk.
It's Alan Melondius. You got to be more careful.
You can say what you want to say.
Alan Melondius. Got to be more careful.
And we are back.
We're back, baby.
Episode 13.
You sure it's 13 and not 14?
I'm sure it's 13.
Okay.
I'm sure.
If you say
Me and
so.
Darrell did episode 12 last night without you because you was down for the count.
I
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
I know you missed me.
Yeah, I miss you.
I know you did.
Episode 12 was, it was about moms.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? About my mother and the type of music that she listened to.
Mm-hmm.
So, episode 14, we're going to try to get Pastor Tates in here because I heard so much good stuff about her.
Yes, hopefully we can get that on 14. If not 14, 15.
Well, 15 is Ann again.
Oh, okay.
We're going to do it like we did Mama Stella.
Okay.
Right? I'm saying
We got to get Mama in.
the month of September. But today I got a special guest.
Okay.
He is someone that I used to hang out with a lot when I was in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Real down to earth guy.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that he did in his life
Mm-hmm.
in the time that I knew him,
Right.
I thought was just dope. And
Right.
people have to hear about it.
All right. Let's get him.
Right. So, Mr. Ayyub, are you there?
I'm here.
You there? All right. What up, man? How you doing?
Hey, how's everything?
You gonna be super cool on me, fool? That's what's going on?
Yeah, a little something.
Okay. Okay. Now, I was just telling my wife before we brought you on that you were one of the people that I used to hang out with when I was living there in Harlem. And he's a really cool guy, man.
Sometimes only on the weekend. No, I'm just kidding.
Only on the weekends.
Only on
I
the
hear
weekends.
that. I hear that.
Now, let me give this forewarning out here. This ain't Joe Rogan and all that.
Right.
So you hear this fire alarm
Smoke detector
that's going off. We got to get a ladder to get to it because the ceilings are so high. But if you hear it, we
apologize.
Yeah, we apologize for that. So let's give my man a round of applause.
Whoop, whoop.
So, Mr. Howard,
Yeah.
could you give us your full name?
Full name is Ayyub Suleiman Howard.
Ayyub
Suleiman.
Howard.
Yes.
Now, when I first met you, it was at the Harlem Children's Zone.
Yes.
Darrell, my son, was there and he was doing martial arts underneath, the chief instructor and the master of the system. And could you give me their names?
Well, I know Alex was teaching us at one point.
Right, Alex.
And then Dwayne, and then I instructed Dwayne, and then Ed came in like a little later.
Ed.
Mhm.
And the master of the
Ed.
system is
Master Jeffrey Canada.
Master Jeffrey Canada, world known Master Jeffrey Canada,
Yes.
right down 125th Street in Harlem. Right. So when I met you,
Well, actually, you know what? Actually, let me correct that.
okay,
He's a grandmaster now, so let me just correct that.
who's a grandmaster?
Grandmaster Jeffrey Canada.
Grandmaster Jeffrey Canada. Let's give him a round of applause for that. Grandmaster Jeffrey Canada.
All right.
Right. So in that system, you at this point you have your second degree black belt, right?
Yes, and my instructor certificate as well.
Instructor certificate. Darrell, the person we had the last podcast with, Darrell has his second degree black belt.
Mhm.
Darrell got his at, dang, how old was Darrell? 16, 17? Somewhere around
You mean
there.
at the time?
Yeah,
I think he was he might have been 17 or 16. Somewhere around
17,
that,
right. And
Yeah.
then you and
Ricardo.
y'all got yours next. I think so, right?
Yeah, Ricardo received his second degree black belt before I did because I wasn't. I didn't think I was ready at the time, and I actually thought that he needed. I thought that he should get promoted instead of
Yeah, Ricardo was there all the time, man.
Yeah, he was. She was there a lot.
And it's weird because when we were at Harlem Children's Zone, didn't it feel like a family?
It did.
It did. Okay.
It really did.
I got some memories for you because I was looking on my phone and I saw something that had me dying laughing. Two pictures. It was one picture I took of you on the plane when we went to Minnesota, I think.
I think it was Minnesota, Massachusetts, whatever. Yeah,
right,
Minnesota, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were looking around and at me, looking at the camera, making the craziest face, and I said, "This fool right here." And the second picture was we were eating breakfast, not in Minnesota. It was
Canada.
No, it wasn't Canada. It was South Carolina.
Oh, it was at the buffet.
Breakfast thing. Yeah. And I was like, dude, we had so much silly fun doing all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything was like a family. But let's get down to bit. Wait, before we do that, Tammy Johnson. She's a constant shout out person on our Facebook page. So give her a round of applause for listening.
Tammy Johnson Major. Yes.
She is there. Right?
Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. And hopefully in a few, we will probably be moving over to Google Podcasts, Apple, and Spotify.
What about Anchor?
Well, Anchor is the hosting app that's going to put it
on everything.
Those.
Okay.
Yeah, let me take care of that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's your job. Yeah.
Let me worry about that.
I'll be trying to act like I know something, but I guess I'm showing my ignorance. Huh?
Right.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't mean like that. But so we usually do this thing, Ayyub, where it's like we talk about things that bother us during the week, and we talk about things that we want to kind of like get off our chest. I think this is catching Alondius off guard because she's looking at me right now, like, with the hand under the throat, like, yo, what you talking about?
Right, because I didn't, I've been sick, so I wasn't.
Well, we're going to let Ayyub take your place.
Okay, good. Right? There you go.
So,
there you go.
Mr. Howard.
Yes.
We have this thing called Get It Off Your Chest, where we talk about things that may have bothered us like throughout the week or whatever, right? And what did we have to do we kind of putting it all together. What did we have to do to calm ourselves down or
find a balance
to get past it, right? Is there anything you had this week that made you sit back and say,
got to be more careful?
Anything?
Not really. I just came back from vacation about last week, so I'm kind of like refreshed and focused on not letting nonsense and people's nonsense affect me and drive me to the edge, So
right. So the vacation, that was your balance, right?
Yeah, that was my balance to get back to what I need to do,
Right. Now you know me, sir. You know me for a while now.
Yes.
So my thing is always people when they don't quite pay attention to what they're doing, meaning they kind of forget that when they needed you, you were there and you stepped up to the plate. But when it's reversed, you can't find them. We talked about this type of stuff before,
Yeah.
That kind of plagued me this week. And I don't know if I have a balance for it. I don't think I'm ever going to have a balance for it. It's always, wow, that.
Yeah, it's loud, but
we're just going to keep going.
We're going to keep it going.
Right. So I don't know if I'm ever going to have a balance for that. I don't think so. What do you think?
I don't think there is a balance.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta, just keep being you and do the best you can and just go forward. And the people are who they are.
That is
right. That's what I say.
That's why I got
people are who you are, and they're just some people you can't change it. No matter what goes on or whatever, you just
Okay.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I agree too. But this next part, he might laugh at. See how my man kicked that wisdom right there? You know why he kicked that wisdom?
Why?
Because he a Muslim.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Because he a Muslim. Yeah, man, because you a Muslim. Boy, you don't eat no bologna.
You're crazy.
Hey, fool, you ain't no baloney. But yeah, so yeah, he's a Muslim, which is, I want to segue into my, next area that I really wanted to talk about this with him, right? Your early life. You told me that you grew up somewhere else. Where was that, sir?
When I was, I believe I was maybe like 10 or 11. Me and my little brother we went to West Africa, Senegal to live.
Right.
There's I think a lot behind the reason why we went, but we went there to pretty much get away from the violence that was going on in the country during the 80s, with drugs and gangs and all the shootings and stuff that was going on,
Where were you in the city? You were in New York City, right? Before you moved.
Yes, I was. We lived in Brooklyn.
Okay. What part of Brooklyn?
I think. I was in East New York. I was living with my sister in East New York, but I think my mom was staying somewhere in Bushwick. I think so.
Oh man, East New York was bad.
Yeah, it was back in the 80s. I mean, there's a lot of shootings, heroin addicts on the street. You walk and see people shooting up needles and pass out in the corner. I mean, it was really bad.
Right.
But for me, I mean, it was real fun. I mean, as a kid, like 9, 10 years old, you were able to go to the supermarket and pack bags and and earn a little bit of money. That was pretty cool for me. I still remember that. My first job packing bags
in Brooklyn.
Yeah, in Brooklyn. Yeah. That was amazing.
So your mother made the decision to move you and Kay to?
Oh no, me and my other little brother, Illy. You never met Illy.
Oh, I never met him. I thought it was Kay.
Yeah. No, Kay came maybe 3 years later after me and my other little brother was there.
Okay.
Yeah, so my little brother's name is Ilyas.
Okay, so y'all moved to Senegal.
Yeah, so we moved to Senegal in 1988.
Right.
And my stepfather, this is what you call my stepfather's from there, so he kind of convinced my mother to send us there.
Okay.
And I think some of the motives behind it, one of our good friends was murdered, who was a close kid to us, and we used to hang out with him. He got murdered, so I think that kind of hit home hard. So my mom really was trying to save our lives and give us a better option, So
you have to go.
Yeah, that's my theory.
Gotta get out of here. Let's give our moms a round of applause.
Right. Mama's gonna do what they gotta do for their babies.
Yeah, she did what she got to do.
Right.
Yeah,
they gonna do what they gotta do for their babies. So how was that? Was that a culture shock for you coming from Brooklyn to Senegal?
Honestly, I didn't really think about it much. I actually was curious to find out where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know we was going to be there that long.
Mm-hmm.
But once the realization kicked in, we started going like, oh snap, this is
Got to be more careful.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
okay.
we was like, we just had that epiphany. It was like, wow, this is, we thought we was going to be there for a few weeks, a few months, and months turned into other months, and months turned into years. It was like, okay. This seems like where we're going to be at. We made the best of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the years, how many years was it?
We was there from 88. We came back home in 1997.
Wow. Almost 10 years.
Yeah, and we were in a boot camp. Not any other boot camp you guys would know, but I would say boot camp, more like a what they call, those, where they send like, it's like a boarding school, but the worst kind of boarding school.
Wow.
It was like it was a compound. We had to panhandle for food and stuff like that. We looked like homeless people. That's how we dressed, and that's the environment we was in, and that was the only choice we had.
But why go to that? What was that about?
Well, I mean, that's just the environment in which they live, and that's the way. It's like a study school. We studied the Quran, and the schools that compound, like we have huts and houses made out of metal, okay. And our beds was made out of like hay. Mm-hmm. That's what we But it was the environment of school. Like you We woke up early in the morning. We studied, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. We studied the Quran, whatever. And then by 7 o'clock sunset, we went out panhandling for breakfast. We panhandled for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And, it's very hot out there. Like the temperature out there it's ridiculous hot. Like, if you step out in the sun, you think that maybe if you crack an egg, you'd be probably fried in the sand. That's how hot it starts to get.
We can identify with that because Elandius retired from the Army, and she was in Iraq, Afghanistan,
right? And we actually did that. Did the cracked the egg and everything and fried it on the rock,
right?
And yes, and we had our supply, so I was in charge of like getting the water and the MREs and stuff like that for my my company. And the water was stored in these containers, these military containers, the metal, and the water would be boiling inside the containers.
Wow.
And we had to drink that water. So it was like crazy. I was like, I've never seen bottled water boil before.
Crazy.
That's just how hot it was.
Crazy. And with me, like I always tell you, I flew from Philadelphia to Bahrain.
Right.
But for some reason, we didn't fly onto the base, and we had to get on a helicopter. But to go from the plane to the helicopter, it was like a landing strip, but on either side of the landing strip was sand.
Right.
And we had to walk across the sand, and I had my boots on.
That sand was hot.
It was burning my feet.
Right, through your boots.
This is a
special... And you had boots on. We used to walk on that hot sand with our bare feet.
Oh my goodness!
Wow!
Oh my goodness!
Because some of the factors of it, like the slippers that she brought, when you bought those slippers, those plastic slippers, pretty nice slippers, but if you wore them for about a week, they start cracking where you have to put your toe in. It starts cracking, so that part comes out.
Wow!
So what we used to do is take wires, and we used to sew that part, and we'll keep it on. I had so many wires going through our shoes, it was ridiculous. When it finally broke, the wire would stick your foot, but it's time to buy a brand new pair of shoes. But you put so many wires through that just to preserve that shoe, because what it was is that if you had brand new slippers and you was at the school, the kids would steal your slippers.
Wow. Man.
And if they steal your slippers and go, now you had nothing to go panhandling. So you had two choices: sit back and starve, or walk on the hot sand. Let me tell you something. I had to run from one side of the shade of the tree to the other side of the shade of the tree. It's like running through fire.
That is crazy.
Dude, like, I'm scared. I'm scared of Senegal now. Like,
and it's the thing of it is that it's your feet starts to, after a period of time, your feet starts to get used to the heat.
Right.
You get acclimated to it. Yeah.
Yeah. At first it's bad. It's like walking through fire, but afterward your fire, you like walking through it like it's nothing. We used to play in the sun. Soccer barefoot in the hot sun. We didn't even care no more. We was already used to it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So you had this boarding school. You're in Senegal. The one obstacle, I'm going to save it for a little bit later. But how about making friends? How were you accepted by the other kids that were natives of Senegal?
I have always been a little different. I always I don't care who doesn't accept me. I'm me. If you want to be my friend, I attract people who I think who are positive, respectful people. I mean, I had a hard time adapting. It was kind of like, the school we was at, they had big kids who were in charge of the little kids. So the little kids wouldn't panhandle, they had to bring it back to the kids. They couldn't touch it. Like a game.
Right. Right.
I wasn't part of that pack. I was solo, and I always had run-ins because they were like, don't you know this is how things work out here? I'd be like, word, that's cool, but you're not taking what I earned to take it. You're going to pry from my hands.
Okay.
And, we always would get into, I probably had a fight maybe 3 or 4 times a week.
Dude, this sounds like you in jail almost, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, without the shame. So pretty much
without the shame.
Without the shame, but they will, put you in a room and they will, they'll surround you and you start fighting. It's like initiation. But I was always defiant because even as a teenager, and it's kind of weird, and I'm going to say I knew what was right and what was wrong, but as a teenager, I mean, it's kind of weird. But I just knew what was the right thing to do. I had a temper and everything, but I knew what the right thing to do, so I just did it. I didn't worry about, this is what we're supposed to do and whatever. Yeah, I got into fights. Some fights I lost, some fights I won, but they did realize it was going to take what I earned.
Right.
That wasn't going to happen, so they just left that alone.
Well, and here's the second barrier. And you know, I'm always amazed by this, and I always talk to you about this.
Mm-hmm.
You had to learn to speak the language. Now,
Yes.
let me add something to it. Every
Mm-hmm.
time I meet someone from Africa, right,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mhm.
speak French.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I started hanging around Ayyub,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't speak French.
Okay. What did he speak?
What's the name of it, sir?
It's called Wolof. It's a native tongue of Senegal.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, Senegal and Gambia.
Right. I remember we were at, I can't think of the name of the place right now. The place you can eat that's right there on Lenox and like 128th.
Oh, 160. Yeah, I think it's called Bao Bao. I think we went there one time.
Yeah.
The restaurant. Yeah.
And you were talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, he speak another language? But it wasn't identifiable. Like when you hear French,
Yeah,
you know it's French.
you know it's
You hear
French.
Spanish, you know it's Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But what you were speaking, I was like, and it came out so fluent.
Mm-hmm.
Because just a minute ago, you was like, what's up, fool? West Side? You know how we do. And then, boom, it's like that. Could you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Could you say, hello, Alundis, how are you doing in Wolof?
Okay. Negative.
Uh-huh.
Negative means how you doing,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and magnifique means I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
Magnifique?
Yeah, magnifique. So you say
Magnifique.
negative,
Mm-hmm.
negative, and it say negative means how you doing,
Mm-hmm.
and magnifique means I'm fine.
Magnifique.
Okay.
Magnifique.
So if
Okay.
I said, if a person's name would come before or after negative,
What do you mean?
like if I wanted to say, how you doing, Elundius?
Well, you wouldn't say that, because if you say negative, it just covers everything else. Like you're looking at the person, it's like, well, hey, good morning. You're looking at them saying
Right.
good morning.
Okay.
So saying it directly looking at the person, they know exactly you're talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
You know what I'm saying?
I'm fine as what? How do you say that again?
Negative.
Negative.
Negative means how are you,
Uh-huh.
and magnifique means I'm fine.
Magnifique.
Magnifique. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try this out. Negative.
Magnifique.
We speak in Waldorf. Got it.
See, yeah, there you go.
Hey, we speak in Waldorf. You know what I'm saying? We're going back to the motherland with that. So here's the thing. I was always curious about it. You learn that language.
Yes.
We know what they do, and they come over there and they take over our lands, and they force their languages and their cultures on us.
Mm-hmm.
But where you were, how were they able to escape that and still speak the native tongue?
Well, you got to understand. You got to understand. The French did a number, and English did a number in Africa to our people.
Right.
And you got to understand, you're always going to have people who are disconnected from their own culture,
Right.
because they feel they feel some kind of shame that they need to be friends with. It's like a bully. A bully. You got a bully's bullying somebody. You want to be friends with that bully because you want to be associated with something. Not saying like this is wrong. We don't do it. I'm sticking to this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that because that's not the right thing to do. So you have some people who trying to disown their own culture so that they can fit in with other people who actually dislike them even more.
Mm-hmm.
They already dislike you because they try to dismantle your own culture, your own language.
Right. Right.
You know, so when I was there, a lot of my time I used to hang around the old people. Yeah, the old people, they don't speak no French. They speak the pure language, and I would sit there and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Be patient and listen and hear what they're saying and try to understand exactly what they're saying.
Right.
Some of the young people, they walk around like Pascal, they throw the French in there, like, okay, that's all cool and everything, but that's not your language.
Right.
Right. And that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and they diluted their language with French. And like I said, I've been there for 10 years. I don't speak French. I can speak Wolof directly to people there, and they look at me and they're like, where you from? Because I look like a tribe. There's a tribe in Africa that I look like.
Mm-hmm.
So they hear me speaking, and they're like, where you from? And I'm like, I'm American. They're like, what? No, I'm an American. I'm from here. What's it? Your father, mother's from here? Yeah. So how did you speak the language? I was there for 10 years, and they're just blown away. Like, that's amazing. You speak the language better than people actually from there. Well,
right. Because you fluent with it, bro. Like he have a whole conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing there looking doofy, like, yeah, that's my man.
I'm with him, right?
Yeah. Hey, what he said.
What he said.
But that's dope because, me being a person I am with the African history, here it is. My man has direct connection to that shit, and he's speaking a native tongue, right? Probably the only person I know. I had a friend that spoke Arabic, but
right. Yeah.
I'm sort of not sold on that right now, the whole Arabic thing. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. So you speak the language. You of course you made friends over there, and you were there for 10 years, almost 10 years, almost 10 years.
Yeah, almost 10 years. Yeah.
When you came back to New York, so you left when you were like 8. You came back.
I didn't want to come back.
Okay.
I mean, you live in an environment for so long, and you start to, you know, at some point, like I was like, you know, if I don't go home soon, then, you know, what's the point?
Right.
You know, so I actually wanted to stay there and live. I actually started looking for maybe like to open a deli. I mean, you're not going to get rich, so I mean, it's more, you know, you're going to make enough money to supply yourself every single day, but you're not going to get rich from it. But you know, it's something that will be yours. You know,
right?
It's a good living,
right?
Yeah, you know, it's a good living. You know, it's a stable living. You know, people don't understand like some of the things in Africa. It's a little different than here. Like in Africa, you don't pay property taxes. If you go there and you want to live there, I can actually go there and find you land for free, and you can live there.
Wow.
What do you
And
mean?
Want to go
free?
there live like free? Like I have a friend that he owns multiple lands. His father owns multiple lands. After he passed away, he he gave it to his kids. You know, they have land. If you want it, they can give you land, or they could sell you land, but it won't be a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And you can build whatever you want to build there. There's no property tax. The only thing you have to really deal with a lot is electricity. Electricity is a little high. The voltage is higher than, you know, ours, and maybe like water. You know, you pay for the water, and that's pretty much it. You know, pretty much it. You know.
So, but when you did come back, so you came back around 17, 18 years old.
No, when I came back, I was 21.
Wow.
So I believe maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I think I might when I left that might have been 11 or 12.
11 or 12. So here's
11, 12 maybe.
So what did that do to you as far as education?
I learned a lot. I had a bad memory. I honestly had a bad memory. I actually thought that I actually at some point I thought I was wasting my parents' time because I couldn't remember it. I had a bad memory.
Right.
I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember a whole lot. So it took me. A little brother, he finished the Quran. He wrote 2 Qurans by heart, which is something hard to do.
Right.
Very complicated to do. But for me, I was just still like in the dust somewhere.
Right.
You know.
So, but
people like, did you finish? I said, no, I didn't finish. I kind of jumped off.
So the Quran was your formal education? I mean, you didn't go to like high school or?
No. We pretty much just studied Quran, Arabic. We you know, that's pretty much what we did. Sometimes we went to the farm, and panhandling. You know, it was like kind of a disciplinary. I mean, like at this place where these kids was, where we were panhandling doing, there was some kids there that their fathers was you know, like real high religious leaders, and they all sent their kids to that same school that we was at. And they would stay there. It's like some kids would go there and they'll be there for a day or 2 or a week, and they'll go home. Some kids they were just dropped off and they were just left there.
Wow. Okay. So
and they was there for years.
This is where it's amazing at, and I'm talking to my wife right now as if we all sitting here around the table, right? What is that noise, man? This thing is killing me right now. You hear it?
Yeah. It's gone now.
Okay, it's gone now. So this is going to be, I don't know what this podcast is going to be. Hey, maybe we shouldn't have named it 13.
Oh no.
But here's the thing. So you come back to America. We're going to skip over some time. How old were you when you joined Che Mun Kwan and you decided to do a black belt, and why did you want your black belt?
You know, honestly, and just to be honest, when I joined Che Mun Kwan, I actually just came there just to learn some things. And I mean, I was already studying Kung Fu, Wing Chun, and I actually came there to learn some of the kicks and study a little bit, and then move on and try to formulate my own style of self-defense or whatever.
Right.
But when I came there and I started learning, like I said, I had a bad memory. when I came there and I started studying, I started remembering things really clearly, and I'm like, wow. So I just stuck to it and I went hard. I to see where it was. I actually didn't even envision myself becoming a black belt. I just wanted to be part of the ranks of good martial artists in the school and just, be part of the flock, And I went higher than I thought,
Right.
Yeah.
Because and I'm not just saying this because you're on here.
Mhm.
I remember when you first came to the class and you was straight focused, man. Babe, I'm gonna tell you something.
Mhm.
You know what? I'll tell you exactly. So practice was on Monday
Mhm.
and Wednesday. Later on, it became Saturday.
Mhm.
It was a fight team, traveling team. Um, IU, remember you used to come to the house?
Yeah.
We used to
Yeah.
have like personal practice sessions at the
in the
house
park right down the corner, yeah.
or either in the park, depending
Mhm.
on what the weather
Yeah.
was.
Mhm.
And I told you, I did martial arts younger
Right.
age.
Right.
So I was able to sit there and help.
Mhm.
Like, especially with Doral, because I'd be like, yo, your feet wrong, or that's not going to work.
Mhm.
I'm not overstepping anybody's boundaries, but because I know, I could say, like, hey, try this. or
Right.
try
Give him
this.
some pointers.
And dude, you were such a great person to be doing that with, bro. Like, real talk, man.
I mean, you guys, I mean, you and Darrell was amazing. I mean, like I said, you guys taught me a lot. And like I said, I like to chill people who are actually smart, intelligent, and have this down to earth. You know what I'm saying? People who don't have have the head from the clouds.
Wait. Hold on. You said I was smart?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I'll take that.
yeah. Maybe that was a twin. I don't know.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but I enjoy the company and the conversation and trainings, and it was amazing. Like because of you and Darrell, that kind of helped me move forward to propel me to keep going forward to become a black belt and so forth.
Right, because I'm gonna tell you, man, at that point, the job I was working, I didn't want to do it.
Mhm.
And you never ever rarely saw me without Doral. You know that firsthand.
Yeah, I do.
He's everywhere. Everywhere I
Mhm.
go, Doral is there.
Mhm.
So my job at the time was to make Doral better
Right.
in tournaments. Like, okay, lose the fear.
Mhm.
The only thing that can happen is you get hit, but it's not like a real fight,
Right.
right? To do what you got to do. And me, Ayyub, and Doral, we just started building that whole mentality
Mhm.
like that, to where it's like, yo, Sunday we good.
Mhm.
Like, what was it? Sundays we practice?
We was all over the place.
All over the place.
Well, we all over the place. Sometimes we practice in the daytime. Sometimes it was like 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. We'd be in the park just practicing until we had enough. And it was like
And most importantly, it wasn't just physical practice; it was also mental practice.
Right. Right.
Yes.
We would talk it
Mhm.
like a combination.
Mhm.
Like, yo, dude, you throw that first, reverse punch, or back fist and first punch. Hey, come with that roundhouse kick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your thing, if I remember correct, your thing was back fist, reverse punch, and I want to say a thrust kick. I remember that's what I was telling you. Like, yo, dude, you got a little weight on you. Move them back. Like, keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? And Doral was more so like side to side, move around, using the speed to get up in there. Two different fighting styles.
Mhm.
But yo, that was like, yo, if I never said it, bro, it's like, thank you, bro. Cause it's like,
no, thank you guys.
At that time,
Mhm.
you and Doral and that Chang Mu thing, they're going out of town to where we go, Minnesota, Canada,
South Carolina,
Florida,
Oh
wherever.
no, he went to Florida. I didn't go for that one.
Okay.
I got screwed on that one, but yeah, that's a whole different story.
Okay. DC, you went to DC, right?
No, I didn't go to DC. I think I might have been working at the time.
It gave me a life. It gave me something to do, and it gave me something to do to be with Doral and be a part of what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
man, that whole thing was dope. But there's something Mr. Howard, IU did that really amazed me during that period.
Mm.
When I met you, bro, you didn't have a high school diploma.
No GED, no high school diploma, absolutely not.
No GED, no high school diploma. And then you told me that you were going to school to get, was it your GED?
Yeah, I was going to school to get my GED. Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I'm about to get my associates.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what's
Got to be more
Got
careful.
to be more careful.
And then the next thing you know, bachelor's.
Mm-hmm.
Focused.
Right.
Studying, like, you did everything, bro. And you didn't let up. You was on Chang Mu Kwan learning the martial arts. You were working. You were doing security. And he was dead focused on the school.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what was on your mind and why did you do that?
Well, I mean, everyone has a sense to belong and what they're capable of doing. I think I was just trying to find my purpose in life and, what I was capable of doing.
Right.
Just looking at some of the years that when I was in Africa studying the Quran, I couldn't finish. I couldn't remember anything. So I was like, that kind of really frustrated me. Like, what am I here for? Like, what's my existence? What's my purpose? So, but going through Chamber Kwan and studying with you and Jarrell, and that kind of compelled me to get my belts. And while I was doing that same energy, that same positive energy, kind of encouraged me to focus and go to college and try to get that GED. And the more I succeeded through class and training with you and Jarrell, the more propelled me in college to go forward and get the degree and kept going. So I think that the motivation, which I had, but I think the motivation that I had that was, I would say, was sleeping. I think you and Jarrell pushing me and training me in school that helped push me, help me to get there.
Right.
Yeah, so I thank you guys for that too.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Like you did your
Right,
thing, bro.
right.
You did your thing, and I'm like, yo, this guy's Superman. Like, and it seemed like it went like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was GED, associates, bachelor's, boom.
Right.
And I was like, yo, and I'm gonna tell you how that played into my life after we finished talking about this. But dude, you remember we used to like sit in front of your well, not sit, we would stand right there. You were on what, 129th and 7th?
Yeah, right in front of the stool, yeah.
Yeah. And we talked about everything from religion to, myth to lost books of the Bible. You remember we talk about all that, man?
Everything. We'd be out there talking for
hours. And just talk
Right,
about that.
right.
But at the time, I was experiencing so much on St. Nick, bro. I didn't want to go home. But you know that. We're not going to get into all of that.
Yeah, we're not.
But I didn't want to go home, so I would stay out as long as I could. And my man here was like, so what's next? What we talking about?
Right,
we all over the place.
Yeah.
Hey? And that was dope. I appreciate that from you, man. Like, yeah. And I don't think I've ever seen you in a bad mood. I've seen you ready to cuss somebody out. But I don't think I've ever seen you in a bad mood, bro.
It's like the Incredible Hulk. You don't want to see that. I don't turn green. I turn blacker. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I have my moments. I don't like to. I mean, you gotta really do something to piss me off for me to go down. Like, I just try to avoid confrontation and try not to let my ego control me or get me in a situation that I can't get out of. So
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, because there was a few situations that you told me about, which I'm not going to get into, but things that were going on in your home, and I'm like, how does he keep his cool?
Right.
I'd went in there and knocked all the chairs over.
Right.
But
just keep that positive energy flowing because
kept it flowing.
yes, that's it's the only way to make it is that you got to stay positive. You got to keep
you gotta
positive
let
people around you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to let it out, but you don't want to let it out in a way where it's going to cause you to be in jail or whatever, or try to find some kind of outlet. And that's going to martial arts school. That was my thing. Going to tournaments and fighting. Like, oh, I can actually fight someone. I'm not going to get arrested for this.
Right.
So you actually get in there and fight somebody. It wasn't about whether I win or lose. It was, I was going to get in there and show them what I'm about.
Right.
Right.
And
show them what I'm capable of. Yeah.
And let me say this before. Out of everybody I knew in New York City, been there 30 years, right? Ayyub's the only person that I know that is actually registered to have a gun?
Wow.
You are, right?
Only Monday to Friday. No, I'm kidding. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So are you federal? We ain't got to get into the job, but you federal?
No. I work as a federal contractor, so I undergo the same kind of
Same rules they got.
Same rules, investigations they get there. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he always had that thing on him.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
like not walking around with it,
Right.
but
right.
he got
right.
access to
Right.
it.
Right.
You know, I thought that was dope.
Mm-hmm.
And in the time that the degrees is popping off, and he's bettering himself, dude. I watch you go from one end of working, meaning a certain income, which we're not getting into. I watch you climb that ladder too. I saw it. Like where you at right now, which if you're still at the same place that you were at when I was there, was nothing like where you were at when I first met you.
True.
You were constantly
moving forward,
moving
higher,
moving up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got married. What's your wife's name?
Which one?
Oh, come on, man. Stop.
Oh, my wife here, her name is Inde.
Inde?
Yeah, Inde. Yeah.
Inde. And you have Muhammad, and you have, what's your daughter name?
Amina.
Right? Now, what's this jazz about? Which one? What are you talking about, man?
I told you I'm getting engaged to the second one.
Okay, because in your world, as a Muslim, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's shout her out. What's her name, bro?
Catherine.
That's a departure from the other name.
She won't. I have to send her audio of your podcast so she can hear it. But yes, but she's from Dominican Republic.
From Dominican Republic, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, you just kept climbing, climbing, and I'm watching it. And for someone to sit back and say it's not possible, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
You
focused, committed.
I watch you do it, bro. I watch you do it. And I've always been, not like I'm somebody, but I look at that dude, I was like proud, man. Man, he doing that thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
When we went to PD's. Remember PD's?
PD's.
Stop it,
wait.
bro. Don't you start, you man.
Yeah. Wait. You mean TGI Fried? The steak place.
Steak place on 125th. I tell Irlandius about it.
That place is so good. So good.
A big giant steak.
I'm waiting to get there.
A big giant potato.
You gotta close your eyes. You gotta close your eyes when you eat it.
Oh my goodness!
So all emotion and what you call it just go into your taste buds.
And you know what they give you?
What?
The bread they used to have at Steak Pit in Alabama. That long piece of bread. Oh,
I can't wait!
Good.
I can't wait to go.
So good.
Well, if we ever go back to Harlem, I don't.
We going back
just to eat.
Hey. Just to eat.
Hey. you could Uber it.
Uber eat to Colorado.
Right.
It'll be like
$7,000.
I
know, right?
Okay. Bruh, this food is cold. Man, get out of here. I don't want this. But yeah, we were sitting in PD's one day, man. And I remember talking to you. And your aura had changed. And not for the worse. But I think you were seeing light. You were not the same person that I met years prior. It's like life changed. It got better. And my dude, that's dope. I think that's what life is. You know what I mean? The constant climb and the bumping, having some resistance, and either sidestep it or go through it or whatever.
Or over it, whatever you gotta do.
But I know, sometimes people don't say it, but sometimes when people achieve things, it's not just them that was in that achievement,
Right.
It's people who, I would say people around you. Like and this is probably a little off topic, but there's this homeless guy that I saw the other day. Sometimes I see him, I give him money, whatever, and he was like, "No, thank you, man." And I said, "Dude, it's all right." When I lived in Africa, I was a dirty kid. I had dirty clothes. I walked around rag clothes, spent clothes. Not because this is what I had. That's all I had.
Right.
But there were people who had money in that town. Like people were rich. They had money, and they would treat me like I was their own. They would give me clothes, they would give me food. They didn't owe me anything. They just did it because they were good people. And I try
Right.
to understand myself, like, why are you helping me? Yeah, I know you know I'm American, but that wasn't the reason. That wasn't the reason why they were doing what they were doing. They was doing it because this is who they were. And I think sometimes in life, people forget what other people did for them so they could turn around and do for other people. Instead of doing that, they just walk the other direction.
Mhm.
Right.
And you're supposed to return that back to people the best way you can. Don't look at people like, oh, they should get a job. No. If you can help, help.
Right.
You know, someone did something for you and they didn't even know you.
Mhm.
And they did it for you because that's who they were and it was a nice, right thing to do. Just
Right.
pass it on and walk on. Leave it alone.
You know
Pay it
what?
forward.
And I will
Yeah.
say this, he's for real.
Mhm.
And I'm going to bring this up, and it's not to embarrass you, Ayyub.
Mhm.
I don't remember the exact situation, but it had got bad because you know what? Let me go into this first. Because of what Ayyub was doing
Mhm.
when it was time for me to
Mhm.
go to school,
Mhm.
that was one of my examples.
Right.
I'm like, man, I could do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just watched my man do it.
Mhm.
Right? So I could say partly, you know, you have a lot to do with a master's degree for myself. So let's give Ayyub a round of applause.
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna give yourself a round of applause too.
Yeah, I'm up in there too. Like the Snoop Dogg said when he got his award, I like to thank me. But
Oh yeah, you
but
got to.
but before I got that, it was one day you were at your job, and I used to come by there and basically complain because things were going bad for me.
Mhm.
And we laugh and we joke and everything. And I never forget it, man. You gave me $60. And I was worried, like, how am I going to give it back to him? It was bad, man.
Mhm.
It's bad. And you know what he said?
What?
Don't worry about it.
Right.
You remember that, bro?
Yeah, I remember that.
You do. You don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, because we're conditioned for
Mhm.
people to do things and they want it back. And
Mhm.
the next thing you know, you
But
got to.
but here's the thing.
Right.
Here's the thing. You had done the same thing for me sometime earlier. And you didn't remember.
No, I don't.
You know, when sometime we went to Applebee's or whatever. You're like, no, I got it. You know, I got it. You know,
Yeah,
I'm doing. You know,
Well, I do.
and
I do remember Applebee's and PD's, but I didn't think I was because I asked you to go. So why would I ask you to go and then be like, "Yo, you got to pay for yourself"? Why would I
Right.
do that?
Right.
Look. So here's your separate bill.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's like when somebody say, "Yo, you want to ride?" and then they
Then
come
they
and
gonna
pick
say,
you up. Then
Oh,
they,
you got gas money?
yeah, like
Right. Wait a
Or
minute. I didn't ask to come with you. You asked me to come.
Yeah, like I ain't got no money. I'm going back in the house.
People have done it. People have done it. You know.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
insane, but it's.
That's weird, bro. That
Mhm.
is so weird. But yeah, that $60 gave me the ability to see a little clearer that week,
Mhm.
you know, and whatever. And I don't know if you notice, I actually got another job based on the money that you had gave me because it allowed me to go interview.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
Hey.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So that what I gave it, did it earn interest? Because I'm looking for that right now. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you know what? hey, what had happened was
Yeah,
the way
you know how the story starts off with that.
yeah, what happened was the way my bank account is set up.
Mhm.
You know, I can't make withdrawals.
Better start writing some checks.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I appreciate that, bro. You know, appreciate it, man. That was straight up, you know, and me coming to your job, and I kept coming to your job even after I had got another job, and I used to sit there
Mhm.
just to be out of the house.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say on that. But
I remember.
Have
just
some
to
good
be out-
conversation.
Yeah. And then Manners was
Mhm.
next door, so I might go over there and get, you know, some soul food. Well, it's Korean soul food,
Right.
but what is that? It's a Korean soul food?
I'm not getting involved in that one. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's soul food, but it's Koreans are running it.
yeah, it's kind of
So
weird.
it's Korean soul food. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
And it's not just right there on 126th and 8th. It's on 125th and Lenox over there. It's on
Yeah,
133rd, 134th, 133rd and Lenox.
Mhm.
They all over the place.
And 125th too. 125th over by Fifth Avenue.
Right.
Harlem Children's Zone, yeah.
So
Right.
I guess it was good.
Yes, it was good, but here's the thing. And I'm going to
Depending on
ask you this
location.
question because you're still there. You still working at the same spot?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, in Harlem?
Yeah.
No, I'm further downtown.
Okay. You lived in Harlem for years and years and years.
Mhm.
How many black soul food restaurants in Harlem?
Hmm.
I'll wait.
I would say Jacobs.
Jacobs is not.
It's not. Sylvia's. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I guess Sylvia's.
Sylvie's is still there, but it became commercial. Like,
Mhm.
we don't really go there anymore. It's all tourists. Like, they come in on a bus
Mhm.
and go to Sylvia's.
Is that the
Sylvia's.
okay?
The one where she got the canned goods and
Yeah,
grocery
yeah,
stores.
yeah.
Yeah, Sylvia's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we don't have anything.
Wow.
Mm.
Do you remember Pan Pan? On 135th and Lenox? It was next to Harlem Hospital.
I don't know if I remember that one.
Yeah, that was it, bro. That
Wow.
was it. That was it. And that shut down like in the 90s. Shut it down. But yeah, yo, man. Good, interesting conversation with you.
Yes.
We're not going to keep you up because we know it's almost 12 o'clock your time.
Oh man, I did a 12-hour shift today. I got to wake up tomorrow at 6 in the morning. Doing that 12-hour shift.
Okay. Well, we're definitely gonna let you go.
But for you guys, when I was told, I'm like, this is awesome, So I mean, really, this is my sleep right now.
Right.
Okay.
So
well, we appreciate it.
What we try to do with this podcast, our thing is, we're going to get to the other conversations of politics, religion, and all that. We'll get to that. But we wanted to let, people know when they're listening who we are, our history and where we come from, and the interesting people that we encountered along the way. That's what this is doing. And today is your day, sir. You are a very interesting person. You're good people, right? You're a good friend. I know that I might not day before yesterday or whatever. I hadn't spoken to you in how long? Months?
Yeah, it's been a couple of months.
But when we talk, it always start off at the same place.
Where we left off at.
Usually I come on, what's up, fool?
Yeah, what's up, fool?
Because we be imitating, California talk. What's up, fool? Hey, fool. We do that. It is what it is, man. And
it is.
Good dude since I met you. Proud of you, everything that you accomplish. Your family, your wife, Muhammad. I always mess her name up. Amina,
yeah.
Amina. Because I remember when she was in the martial arts class and a baby, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And how old is she now?
She's 16 now. She turned 16 in May. So she's doing good with her grades and stuff. She's doing a great job. She actually also is helping her. I went to Dominican for 10 days, for 11 days, and she actually helped watch her brother and her mother.
Okay.
All right.
She's still at school, Harlem Children's Home?
No, so she a quick thing before we go, she's in Beacon High School. She transferred, I think it was during the pandemic last year.
Right.
So she's in Beacon High School right now this semester here, this class right, she's going to 11th grade. So
where's Beacon, on 7th?
I believe it's on I know it's on 44th Street somewhere.
Downtown?
Downtown, yeah.
44.
I think so. I think it's like 44th Street somewhere downtown.
9th Avenue,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
44th and 9th Avenue. That's what's up, man. Your baby is grown.
Growing up, young lady.
Yeah. And on the flip side, out of all my friends, the only one Darrell would hold a conversation with is Ayyub.
Wow.
That's it. Like Ayyub. He would talk to Ayyub because they had that thing in common with, martial arts. And plus, it was easier to talk to Ayyub than everybody else.
Right.
No disrespect to nobody, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Well, sometimes, I wanted to say it, but when I was, most people who were some more people who would have probably trained with Jarrell, not saying anyone from school, but people look at things like, oh, this person is too young. I'm not gonna. But you can learn from anybody.
Yes.
And you have to put out your mind a person's age or where they come from or their ethnicity or their origins. You have to look at a person like everyone has something to teach somebody.
That is true.
And if you give a little bit of time and let your mind absorb it, you will start to get a new knowledge. Knowledge is my opinion, knowledge is not something that, I have enough knowledge. There's never enough knowledge to absorb.
Never.
You can always learn something from anybody, any person. I've learned some things from homeless people in the street. Times, oh wow, I didn't know that. You learn from anybody. So when you start allowing ego or your own yourself to be absorbed by. I'm older than this person. You can't teach me anything. I know you. Just stop and listen. Take your ego out
Right.
the equation and just listen, because there's something to learn. And when I saw Al and Darrell teaching me, I don't mess with the egotistic things anymore. I don't have time for that.
Right.
Consumes too much time and messes up relationships.
Well,
So I'm there to learn to to get what I don't know, and I'm gonna whatever you tell me to do, that's what I'm gonna do until I learn what you know.
well, interesting. We were having a conversation this morning about raising kids and what do you put in them. And my thing was, I just want I can't make him a millionaire. I can't give my child $1 million because I'm not a millionaire, right? But there's only two things. I kind of need you to know right from wrong, right? And I kind of need you to have a mindset where somebody just can't tell you anything,
Right.
right? Some kind of sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Both of those together equal one thing, which is no matter where I go, I belong there. That's all it is. Nobody, you're not going to tell me I'm not good enough to be there. I'm not smart enough to be there. No matter where I go, I belong there. I got a fighting chance. That's what I was trying to put into the round, and you were a great addition to it. That's a person that's not smoking weed, because you don't smoke, wasn't drinking, wasn't all out in the street all types of night wilding. That right there was dope. Right? And that's the type of stuff that we on the plane, we laughing and joking. We in Minnesota, we like good stuff, good fun, good people, and not all that crazy complicated nonsense.
Right.
That's what you were, sir. So with that, let me say this. Let me tell Lundy this. I use
What's
a
that fool? I thought that's you going. I thought you was going there with it.
I use a Virgo.
Quiet, we was about to say that.
He's a Virgo?
He's a Virgo. You hear some Virgo in him? A little bit. He's a Virgo. But
I didn't get my birthday. I didn't get my birthday present either.
So, okay, we come back to that. So Alundia spent a year in Korea.
Say again?
Alundia spent a year in Korea. She was stationed in Korea for a year, in South Korea. So I'm going to end it like this. Sir, for being a good friend, for your accomplishments, for your degrees that you did, for achieving your second belt and black belt, I say us.
Us. Thank you.
Do you know what that is, Alundia? Okay, with that, we got to get out of here, bro. Us.
So, are you going to end it off? West Side Fool? No,
West Side Fool.
West Side Fool.
We so confused. Look, it's West Side Fool, us. What's happening, man? What's happening, us?
Oh, man.
All right.
Oh, man.
We'll holler.
Thank you.
All right, nice to meet you.
And thank you, sir.
All right, have a good day.
8141 Talk.
Ladies, Al Melondius, you got to be more careful.
You can say what you want to say.